all-nighter. Street magic, chopped in silence. Cali Azul on the beat. Need y'all to take a ride with me. I'm just a kid from Fall River, what I know. Riding through my city that they're gentrifying. Market rate housing while there's homeless dying. And I know that they're trying cause this program's out there, but I ain't reaching out there. They ain't reaching out there. Empty storefronts, internet to blame. Gotta move different if nothing is the same. Entertainment venues, bringing nightlife. Transparent police, body cams that's live. I mean live stream they whole shift. Personal info can censor it. Even though when involving police it becomes public info. But that's a different topic for a different tempo. Back to my city that they're gentrifying. Panhandlers on the Ave and the addicts dying. Parents crying, losing kids. Half my generation that are doing bids. So how are we gonna get to the youth? Teach them right and wrong when not to shoot. Started young in kindergarten. Mental health class, your brain's a garden. Teach them all about their feelings. Till senior year, let's start the healing. Since tech's here to stay, let's teach with VR. Less bills that way. But what do I know? What can I say? I'm just a kid from Fall River. It's just my observations. Chopped in silence. Cali Azul on the beat. It's all-nighter. All-nighter. Street magic. Chopped in silence. Cali Azul on the beat. Need y'all to take a ride with me. I'm just a kid from Fall River, what I know. Riding through my city that they're gentrifying. Market rate housing while there's homeless dying. And I know that they're trying cause this program's out there, but I ain't reaching out there. They ain't reaching out there. Empty storefronts, internet to blame. Gotta move different if nothing is the same. Entertainment venues, bringing nightlife. Transparent police, body cams that's live. I mean live stream they whole shift. Personal info can censor it. Even though when involving police it becomes public info. But that's a different topic for a different tempo. Back to my city that they're gentrifying. Panhandlers on the Ave and the addicts dying. Parents crying, losing kids. Half my generation that are doing bids. So how are we gonna get to the youth? Teach them right and wrong when not to shoot. Started young in kindergarten. Mental health class, your brain's a garden. Teach them all about their feelings. Till senior year, let's start the healing. Since tech's here to stay, let's teach with VR. Less bills that way. But what do I know? What can I say? I'm just a kid from Fall River. It's just my observations. Chopped in silence. Cali Azul on the beat. It's all-nighter. What up, what up, what up, everybody? It's your boy, Aaron All-Nighter. This is the Fall River Experience, episode 19. Make sure you share this out to your news feed. Share this to groups. Tag people in a post. Tag people in the comment section. Send this out to like-minded individuals in Messenger. Also, if you are a digital creator or have your professional mode turned on Facebook, put at followers, at highlight, at top fans. It is highly appreciated. If you're an admin or moderator of a group on Facebook, share this to your group. Put at everyone in the post. It'll tag everyone in your group. Again, highly appreciated. We are streaming this on 3 different locations, 2 different platforms. We are on YouTube, on Street Magic Multimedia, and we are on Facebook on the Fall River Experience and Aaron All-Nighter Facebook pages. Make sure you follow, subscribe, turn on notifications. That way you know when we go live. Now, 2 things. 1, switched the schedule up of the Forum experience. Monday, Wednesday, Friday was a little bit too much. Some of the shows were lacking depth. It wasn't really good episodes. It was short episodes, sometimes like half an hour. So, doing it once a week, Fridays, 1 p.m., make it easier for everybody. Show up Fridays, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for your Fall River news. Now, secondly, if you're new to the program and don't know, I start each and every episode with the weather. That way, if you ain't been outside yet today, you know how to dress for the day. Check it out. We'll talk about it.
Any day out there, and kind of one of those days you just want to stay inside.
Sounds like a good idea. Maybe watch a movie. Yeah. Looking at kind of damp weather, even at this noon hour. We'll see some lingering showers through the afternoon. In fact, on the radar, you can see how these rain showers have been hanging tough throughout the last several hours and probably will for a little while this afternoon. Here are some of the rainfall totals so far. TF Green Airport in the lead, a little bit more than an inch of rain. Same for Wickford, Barrington, 0.84, Middletown, about a half an inch. New Bedford hasn't really gotten a lot of rain. About a third of an inch so far. Here's a look at Narragansett Town Beach, kind of drizzly and misty. Temperatures are in the upper 60s. Lincoln, Rhode Island, a lot of clouds. We're at 66, damp up here as well. Mid to upper 60s. This is very un-August-like. Typically, we should be in the 80s at this time of day, this time of year. We're in the 60s. I think we get into the lower 70s as we go into the afternoon. Check this out. There's the culprit. This area of low pressure that's spinning south of Long Island. You can see it here. It's well to the south of Block Island. And it's working its way on off to the south and east, and you can still see it's got its grips on us, and it probably will for a little while longer during the afternoon. Now, it's going to start moving south and east, and then it kind of curls northward as we go through the next 24 hours. Check it out. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, still holding on to some lingering showers and areas of drizzle. Showers and drizzle tonight, kind of damp. I think we're starting tomorrow with maybe a little patchy drizzle, especially in southeastern Mass. A lot of clouds around. There's that low off to the south and east of Nantucket. It'll be working its way off to our east during the daytime tomorrow. Now, Saturday probably won't be a lot of rain, but I think there will be some showers in the afternoon especially. Then check out tomorrow night as a front lifts northward. We'll be seeing a lot of rain late Saturday night and into early on Sunday morning. Some of that rain could be heavy. Then that whole front lifts northward, gets really humid on Sunday. Then we're looking at the chance for some showers and thunderstorms Sunday afternoon especially if we can get some sun. We'll get some of those thunderstorms around. So some occasional rain throughout the weekend. Here's the best timing for it right now. Cloudy skies through the afternoon with lingering showers and drizzle in the afternoon, and probably tonight as well, some lingering drizzle. Saturday, afternoon showers especially, and then Saturday night, some heavy rain is possible. And some of that heavy rain may linger into early on Sunday. Sunday itself, for the most part, not a lot of rain, but there will be some scattered showers and some thunderstorms around. If you're going up to New Hampshire for the big race, well, we're looking at some scattered showers in the afternoon on Sunday up there as well. Temperatures will be around 75 degrees. They'll probably be able to get the race in on Sunday. Forecast for today, we're looking at temperatures only in the low to mid 70s, lingering showers and drizzle, a lot of clouds around. For tonight, more drizzle, maybe a couple of showers, some mist, overnight lows down into the 60s. For tomorrow, we are looking at some showers, especially in the afternoon. Temperatures in the mid 70s, not raining all the time, but there will be some showers around as we go through the afternoon tomorrow. Maybe some heavy rain tomorrow night into early on Sunday. Scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm on Sunday. Then, of course, Monday's looking good. Tuesday, Wednesday, we're still dry, upper 70s to around 80 degrees. Just want to stress, not raining all the time the whole weekend, but there will be some occasional showers we'll have to dodge.
Maybe just have your umbrella with you.
Not a bad idea.
Don't plan full day outdoor things.
That's good advice.
Okay. In the stories we're working on new tonight on 12 News starting at 4, 2 men killed in a fiery crash that shut down the highway for hours. The new details we've learned from police. Then coming up.
All right, so that's the weather. That's the weekend. Rain, rain, go away. Come back another day. Now, we're going to get into a bunch of different topics today. But again, I want you guys to share this out to your news feeds, tag people in a post, tag them in the comment section. That way, everybody knows. I mean, now, we were talking about rain this weekend. It's a little unfortunate, but hopefully it doesn't ruin this upcoming event. Check this out. We'll talk about it.
Happy Thursday, everybody. How we doing? All right? Thanks for coming out. We certainly appreciate it. My name is Patrick Norton. I'm the Executive Director of the Narrows Center for the Arts. We're very happy here today to announce the third annual Take Me to the River event. And as I look out on this Route 79 project, I remember when we started this thing 2 years ago, the road was an absolute disaster. You couldn't get through. We had all kinds of problems. Last year, we had the beginnings of how this was going to look. And now this year, in year 3, the Route 79 project is at least complete from a roadway perspective, and it really makes this this destination one of the premier places in Fall River to hang out and see a show. So let me tell you a little about Take Me to the River. The event serves 2 distinct purposes, I like to think. It's a free event, and it's a free event because of our good sponsors, Mechanics Bank, and our other lovely sponsors. We couldn't do this. But a free event like this allows everyone in our community, regardless of their socioeconomic status, to experience a real high-quality event that I think many might not be able to do so. And that kind of ability to bring people together of all different socioeconomic backgrounds to get together helps build community and gives everyone a chance to enjoy a high-quality cultural experience. The other thing that this event does, and through our survey that we did last year we had about 2,000 people. 35% of those people came from outside a 35-mile radius of the city of Fall River. So what that does is all these people who come into Fall River spend money in Fall River. So that's new economic dollars that are infused into the city of Fall River. I can tell you the Fairfield Inn in Somerset was sold out last year. It wasn't strictly because of us, but we certainly helped. And many of the restaurants and other service-related industries saw a serious economic bump from the people who come to our events. So that's really important to what the Narrows does. We've been doing that for the last 25 years, bringing people from outside of Fall River into Fall River to spend money, and really also it helps Fall River spread the good word that we're a great place to come, great place to visit, and I'll leave it at that. Just my last thing is, the nice thing about this event too, with the roadway all fixed, it's that it's a multimodal transportation event. What I mean by that is, last Saturday we had a smaller show here on the pier, and we had over 20 boats in the harbor. A small version of the Newport Folk Festival, I must say, but it's got to start somewhere. You're not going to start with 20,000 boats. It starts with 12, you get 24, 48, blah, blah, blah. We also have the train station right across the street, and as time goes on, more and more people will take the train to this event and come over and walk to it. And then we also have the Fall River Trolley, which is going to be stopping at the Narrows Center, stopping at the MBTA station, and bringing people in. So I think it's a real great event, easy to get to, free, high quality, and I want to introduce the Mayor of Fall River, Paul Coogan.
Well, thank you, Pat, and thank the Narrows and Mechanics Bank for putting on this tremendous show. As Patrick said, as activity increases on this pier through time, we're finishing up the walkway across from the street. I was down here for the concert. There was a great crowd of people. Come on down for a free day of food, fun, and music. This is a very special event for the city. We're using the pier more and more, and I want to thank Senator Tom Norton, Patrick's father, who was one of the initial ideas behind this, was making this into a pier, and it's truly a great spot. But you can't do it without sponsors like Mechanics Bank pitching in to make sure we cover everything, and the citizens of Fall River. We encourage them to come down for this very special festival. We'd like to see both fingers of the pier full, and people on the water, and people getting a bite to eat, having something to drink, and enjoying a free night of fun and music. Let's all pray for great weather, and going forward, I commend the Narrows in their efforts to do all they can to help promote the waterfront in the city of Fall River. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Josh from Mechanic Bank to say a few words. Without them, this wouldn't even be going on.
Thank you both, Patrick. Mayor Coogan as well. Bank is once again proud to serve as the presenting sponsor here alongside Narrows at the beautiful Tom Norton Pier. This is our third year doing it. We're very excited about the event. things like this open up the town to everybody. This free event open, so we hope to see you here next Saturday, August 22nd, here at the Tom Norton Pier. Grab a lawn chair, come on down, enjoy great food, great friends, music, and we hope to see you here. So thank you.
Hopefully the weather holds for tomorrow. Take me to the river. 4 to 9:30 p.m. Thomas Norton Pier. That's my thing. I like what Narrows Center for the Arts does for Fall River. I only have one critique. I would like a little bit more diversity in the music genres. I'm all set with folk, bluegrass, jazz, all of that. And I'm sure I can speak for a large portion of Fall River that don't listen to that at all. I personally am an independent hip hop artist. I would like to see some hip hop events down at the pier. Comment below if you think Fall River should have more inclusive events with hip hop. There is the Recovery event that's coming up, that's having a national touring hip hop artist named Skylar Ray performing. I think that's a great start. We had Skylar Ray perform in the city last year, and again for the Day of Recovery. Also, we've had recent events in the city with Bryce Berry, and also your boy Loco brought Bubba Sparks to the city. And of course, DJ Boom of Boom Squad Radio hosting hip hop events in the city. However, I feel places like the Narrows and the city itself should incorporate more hip hop in these free community events. It's just an opinion on preference. Now, with that being said, we're going to get into a bunch of different things today. But first, we're going to get into an interview with Republican candidate for governor, Mike Minogue. Check this out. We'll talk about it.
We're less than 2 weeks away from the 2026 Massachusetts state primary, and we continue presenting excerpts of conversations with candidates that have contested races on September 1st. 2 weeks ago, we spoke with Republican gubernatorial candidate Brian Shortsleeve. This week, we speak with his challenger in the primary, Mike Minogue. A lot of people may not know who Mike Minogue is, not only in Fall River, but across the Commonwealth. So when you talk to people, what do you tell them about yourself and why you wanted to run for governor?
I am the youngest of four Irish Catholic family. I went to West Point because my father and mother had faith, grit, and my dad served in the Air Force, so I wanted to serve my country. West Point was an awesome experience. I graduated with an engineering management degree, swore an oath to the Constitution, and then I became an infantry officer. I completed airborne school and ranger school. I deployed to Desert Storm, so I was in the first Desert Storm War, and I received a Bronze Star for being the lead platoon leader and tip of the spear for the 24th Infantry Division's invasion into Iraq. When I got out of the military, I went to work in medical devices because I wanted to continue to serve that purpose, and I love innovation that can help people all over the world. I was at GE for 12 years. I got my MBA on the weekends, worked my way up to VP and ran a few businesses. Then I went to Abiomed in Danvers, Massachusetts, and became the CEO For 19 years, we made the world's smallest heart pumps, created thousands of jobs. We manufacture the heart pumps in Danvers, and we became the new standard of care and have saved hundreds of thousands of lives that people have heart attacks or heart failure and go into cardiogenic shock. After 19 years as the CEO, we were acquired by Johnson & Johnson. So for the last 3.5, 4 years, I've been off with my wife and kids. I have 5 kids, ages 22 to 14. It's been an amazing time, and I spent a lot more working on our family foundation that helps veterans get jobs and does things around causes for kids, for education, and for healthcare. So I believe in giving back. Why am I running? Because this is where I built my company, raised my kids, and invest in my community. I'm watching people struggle to pay bills. I've had the American dream, and I want to be a new kind of governor so that other people can have the American dream like I've had, where you can work hard and succeed, and the government doesn't overtax you and overregulate you. And what's happening in Massachusetts is we're no longer the best place to live, work, and raise a family, but we can fix it. We can fix it because it's not too late, but we've got to get back to accountability of the government, affordability around energy, grow jobs, and keep communities safe. And I'm going to do that, and that's why I'm running for governor.
A lot of times the candidates who run in a primary, generally the issue, they tend to be more aligned than not. So a lot of times people will start looking at labeling candidates in primaries. On the Democratic side, someone may be more progressive or even socialist or moderate. On the Republican side, of course, we hear the word MAGA and not MAGA. How would you categorize your political situation?
So what I've learned in running for office is the politicians want us to hate each other. They want us to see each other as political enemies, and they want us to go to the extremes. I am running to bring people together. I am running to solve problems, not campaign on them. And I am a leader that has integrity, common sense, and compassion. And my focus is that I will work with anyone, whether it's a Democrat, an independent, or a Republican, to bring the business sense and also accountability in numbers to the office of being a governor. We do not balance our budget. And as a public company CEO for 19 years, I was audited by an outside agency every 3 months, and that was public every 24 hours of anything we did legally. So that is the kind of person I am. That's my label. My label is military veteran, business person, community volunteer, husband, and father of 5. And I'm proudly going to be a public servant. I will not take a salary. And I'm going to go out and help people make Massachusetts, again, the best place to live, work, and raise a family.
What have your experience been here in the South Coast and in Greater Fall River? And, the gateway cities, Fall River, New Bedford, and others across the Commonwealth, sometimes have different needs than those of the larger cities of Boston and Worcester and Springfield. So how do you feel your message will resonate in a gateway city like Fall River?
I've had a great time. I mean, I think everyone should run for office once because you get to meet the greatest people. You get to see how gritty and patriotic people in Massachusetts are. And I have been everywhere. And I especially have been on the coastlines for the fishing industry, for scallopers, for the lobster fishermen, for the fish industry. I think energy is important everywhere I go, because everyone has to pay these crazy energy bills. You have families paying more than $1,000 a month. When you think about that, that's over $12,000 a year just on energy. So that's number one. There's certain areas where they're very concerned about cleanliness of water. We got to make sure that happens as well in certain areas, whether it's the drinking water or even the ocean water, because some of these sanitation areas are releasing either chemicals or sewage into the water. And I'm most focused on areas that people are leaving, because when you go and think about how do we regrow Massachusetts, we need to put jobs, manufacturing, and healthcare back into the communities. That's how we get a vibrant economy. It's also how we have the best healthcare. We do not want people having high-risk emergency healthcare issues like maternity care or stroke care or cardiac care, and then having to drive hours just to get to a center in Boston where the emergency rooms are longer waits than ever and there's no beds available. We need to push this back out. And by going and customizing and bringing in growth of our existing companies and bringing in more groups, I think that's how you're going to impact not just Boston, because there's so much focus on Boston. Most areas, most investments are going to be most suited in areas where you can have real estate, have land, and develop, either buildings or companies or restaurants or malls. That's where we're going to help towns, and that's what we're going to do.
I don't know about building malls, since malls are dying. More like marketplaces are better than malls. Other than that, everything sounds good in theory. But who are you voting for governor? I mean, recently we played an interview on this podcast with Brian Shortsleeve. That was Mike Minogue, both Republican candidates. Mike Minogue allies himself more as a MAGA Republican. Brian Shortsleeve called himself more of a Charlie Baker Republican, or Maura Healey. Now, like I said, we're going to be all over the place today on today's episode. And Lizzie Borden has been in the news again, 100+ years later. Because Lizzie Borden will be on the Monster series on Netflix, highlighting Fall River's history. It debuts in September. So up until then, each episode, I'm going to play a little something that I find on the internet about Lizzie Borden. Because it is a story that we should hold dear here in Fall River. It could generate a lot of revenue for our city. Check this out. We'll talk about it.
Lizzie Borden took an axe and she gave her mother 40 whacks. But when she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. It's an age-old rhyme, and if you're like me, you've heard it many times before. But have you heard the story behind it? Today we're going to be talking about the murders of Abby and Andrew Borden and whether or not we think Lizzie Borden was responsible. Today's case takes place all the way back in 1892 on the 4th of March in Fall River, Massachusetts. The Lizzie Borden murder house sits at 230 2nd Street in Fall River, Massachusetts. On that fateful day in August of 1892, residing in the house was Lizzie Borden herself, Andrew Borden, Abby Borden, Bridget Sullivan, who was the family's maid, who they referred to as Maggie, and I will be referring to as Maggie for the rest of this video, as well as John Morse, which was the brother of Andrew Borden's first wife. Out of town on this day was Emma Borden, which was Lizzie Borden's older sister. Now, Abby Borden, despite being in the girls' lives since they were very young, was not their mother. She was their stepmother. With that all out of the way, let's get into the timeline. 10:40 a.m. on the 4th of August, 1892. Abby Borden leaves the house to go to a doctor's appointment, and Andrew Borden lays down on the couch to take a nap. 10:50 a.m. Lizzie claims that she is outside in the backyard barn, while Maggie, the maid, is also taking a nap in her upstairs bedroom. At 11:15 a.m., Lizzie, who is still in the backyard, claims she heard, quote, a heavy fall and a subdued groaning. Obviously, this made Lizzie very concerned, so she approached the house with caution. She noticed that the screen door was wide open and she goes inside. Now Maggie's upstairs and she's trying to take a nap, but she's not quite asleep yet. Suddenly she hears a scream. Come down quick. Father's dead. Somebody has come in and killed him. It's Lizzie. Maggie ran downstairs only to see Andrew Borden laying on the couch, and his head is pretty much gone. There are no signs of the struggle, as Mr. Borden is believed to have been asleep during the murder. Lizzie turns to Maggie and asks her to go and get the doctor from down the street. Maggie returns with one of the neighbours and the town doctor, and the neighbour asks where Abby is. Lizzie turns to her and says, "Oh, Maggie, I'm almost sure I heard her come in. Go upstairs and see if she's there." So Maggie and the neighbour head upstairs, only to find Mrs. Borden face down in a pool of blood in the guest bedroom. Many people believe that Mrs. Borden was actually home during the murder of Andrew Borden, and she fled upstairs to try and get away, where she was then murdered. Both Abby Borden and Andrew Borden were struck multiple times in the head. This suggests that this was a crime of passion. Now that we've got through the timeline, let's look at the suspects. Suspect number 1 is obviously Lizzie. What was her motive? Money, of course. Mr. Borden was extremely wealthy. His net worth would be worth around $10 million today. Despite this tremendous wealth, Andrew Borden was a penny pincher. He liked to live that frugal life. Maggie later testified in court that the family lived quite frugally, often eating mutton-based meals. When this was read aloud in court, Lizzie smiled. Along with this, 5 years earlier, Lizzie had had a falling out with Mrs. Borden, which led to her going from calling Abby mother to Mrs. Borden. Now this fight was over Andrew purchasing a house for Abby's half-sister, rather than purchasing one for his own daughters. This is brought up due to the fact that after the murders, Lizzie and Emma bought themselves a nice little mansion to live in for the rest of their lives. As the case went on, Lizzie's answers grew inconsistent, as well as one more thing. It was found that Lizzie had burnt a dress that day because it was covered in paint. But when Maggie came down to where Lizzie was, she allegedly was wearing a unstained blue dress. The dress that Lizzie burnt was a different dress entirely. Now this testimony was thrown away in court, but there was a pharmacist that testified Lizzie had tried to buy poison from him the day before the murders happened. I just think that's a little bit strange for somebody who didn't murder somebody. I don't know. Moving on now to suspect number 2, we've got good old Uncle John Morse. John Morse was the brother of Mr. Borden's first wife and Lizzie and Emma's uncle. If we look back at our timeline, John Morse is unaccounted for from 9 a.m. until noon. His alibi is that he was visiting a sick family member with the town doctor. The same town doctor that was looking over the corpses of Mr. and Mrs. Borden at that time. Not only that, but the body of Mrs. Borden was found in the room that John Morse had stayed in the night before. John Morse also reportedly knew about Mr. Borden's will, and he had a failing livestock business with Mr. Borden. It is believed that he used a meat cleaver to murder the two, and he was a butcher by trade. Suspect number 3 is Maggie. She was sleeping at the time of the murders in the bedroom directly above the guest bedroom, which is the room Mrs. Borden was found in. Which, if somebody's getting brutally murdered in the room below you, you'd think you'd hear something. But she probably didn't hear anything until, obviously, she heard Lizzie scream and run downstairs. Now this one is a bit of a fan theory, and honestly I kind of love this theory, and that is that Lizzie and Maggie worked together. There are lots and lots of fan theories about Lizzie and Maggie being romantically involved. And the number one fan theory is that Abby actually discovered them being romantically involved with each other, and they killed her to cover it up, and also killed Andrew to make it look like, I guess, a random attack. This would also make sense as to how Lizzie changed so quickly. Those dresses were impossible to get in and out of quickly by yourself. But if you had someone to help you, a maid perhaps, somebody that helps you every day to get dressed, that would make it so much easier. Also, who's the one that said that she was in an unstained dress? Maggie. I honestly think that they covered for each other. But there's no way of knowing because this case is unsolved. I'd love to know your theories in the comments below. I loved researching this video. This is a case that's near and dear to my heart. I remember watching the Coast Adventures investigation of the Lizzie Borden house, as well as the BuzzFeed Unsolved. And hopefully one day in the future, maybe I'll even get to investigate it myself. But until then, leave your theories in the comments below, leave a like on the video if you like the video, and subscribe if you like my face. For more true crime, supernatural stuff, and just anything spooky dooky, check out the rest of my channel and the rest of my videos. Have a great rest of your night.
So Lizzie Borden took that axe, gave both them motherfuckers a bunch of wax. Fall River, you know. That's how we get down. Anywho, do you plan on watching the Lizzie Borden Monster series on Netflix when it comes out? I know I will be watching. Now, moving along, we're going to get into this next video right here. Market rate apartments coming to the old Charlton Mill, the old Reflect building in the South End next to the King Philip Mills. This is for all the people who hate market rate apartments. There's about to be like 100 plus more starting soon. Another mill. Check this out. We'll talk about it.
Address for us, please, for the record.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joel Solomon. I'm the Senior Project Manager for Parallel Products. We're based out of New Bedford, Massachusetts. We're a local real estate developer. We've done commercial work in the greater New Bedford area. We've recently moved into the great city of Fall River. I myself lived here for the past few years.
Pull the speaker a little so that we can get the listening audience
Sure.
involved. Thank you.
Sure. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So I'm joined by Michael LaFlash. He's our historic consultant with Epsilon Associates. I will be calling on him for a couple things if you guys have any questions. I sent a package to Felicia, sent her site plan, sent her the project scope, because we're currently in the process of submitting historic tax credits, both at federal and state level. The reason we're here today is we're looking for the commission's support as we go into our round for state tax credits. So.
Okay. And we did get your packet.
Yeah.
Wonderful. It was mailed out to everyone.
Sure.
Unfortunately, I don't know what's happened. But everyone did receive the packet, and Felicia has given us a little condensed version with drawing of some of the floor plans.
Sure.
And very, very nice package, by the way, that you did give us. And I drove down there the other day and took another good look. It's been a while since I've been in that area, but
yeah,
I see we're putting in a lot of single-family homes. Is that part of your project?
That's
also?
actually not part of our project.
Okay.
That's an entirely separate developer.
Okay.
Yeah, we are only involved with the Charlton Mill at 109 House Street. So the plan is to do a full residential conversion. I believe it'll be 147 apartment units, mix of 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, and a few 3-bedroom units. Residential will be on all 3 floors of the mill, including the bump out that you can see. The building where the chimney is will actually be a recreational room and building, vent space, stuff like that. The plan is, and how we've developed it so far, is to keep the full historic value of the building. So the granite facade will not be changed or anything. It'll look like it did when it was built in 1912, or at least that's the plan.
Yeah.
All the windows are going to be replaced back to that full size. It'll pretty much be a wall of glass like the old building.
The back, a lot of the windows were blocked up, and that'll be all removed, replace the windows. The
That'll be all
openings are
removed.
still there.
All
You
the
can-
original openings will be used for the new windows. Yeah.
And the stack is staying. That's commendable.
Stack
Thank you so
is
much.
staying. Yep.
Yeah.
Keep the old look.
Okay.
Reminds everybody.
Good. And it doesn't show, the rendering, I don't believe shows any solar panels, but I think there was talk of solar panels on the roof.
There is talk of solar panels on the roof, so we're in the process of permitting, and a big part of that is the sight line from the street. So we've had our architects and engineers do quite a few studies from the road to make sure that, you know, the sight line from House Street and even Broadway, you actually wouldn't be able to see the solar panels. So we've been able to push them far enough towards the center of the roof that you won't see anything. They do show in this drawing here, there's a little bump out building. We tried to get rid of that building because it doesn't have much use, very low ceilings. But the compromise that we came up with is we were able to leave 3 walls of that building. So from the street, you can see it. And then we're going to build a carport, parking carport with solar panels as the roof. So it'll be covered parking.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's good. It leaves the structure there too.
Leaves the structure there.
Intent.
Yep.
Yeah.
And again, the solar panels will actually be below the roof line. So you wouldn't be able to see them from the street either.
Now, is there an additional building going on the, I guess it would be the west side of the property?
Yep. So if you look down towards the bottom of the site plan, there will be a new ground up construction going there. It's an additional 68 units going there. I don't have a rendering of that.
Could you give a little description of what that's going to look like?
So I was getting to that. If I did have a rendering of it with me, the plan is to mimic the look of the original building. So we will
Of the original, of the mill?
of the mill itself. Yeah, we don't want it to look out of place. I know, even just driving around most of the cities nowadays, it's a lot of apartment buildings. I don't mind modern architecture, but sometimes it doesn't fit. I think a modern building in this parking lot wouldn't really fit too well either. So the plan is to at least try our best to mimic the granite facade of the original mill. It's nearly impossible to find massive blocks of granite now and build things out of it, but we can do our best to make it not look out of place. So
Just ask about, I don't think I heard, or maybe I missed it. What's happening with the chimney?
chimney's staying. Yep.
Chimney's going to stay?
Chimney's going to stay.
And it's in good condition.
It's in good enough condition. We're going to have to repoint it a little bit, but yeah, it's going to stay. It'll be easier to keep it and repoint it than it would be to knock it down right now. And I don't think the National Parks
I was just gonna say,
Association.
You're violating the Secretary of Interior
Yeah.
standards, and that
Yeah.
wouldn't work well.
No. So,
Good.
and a big part of this project is the support from the National Parks Association, the commission here. These tax credits make it possible, because otherwise this is a borderline insurmountable task for most real estate developers.
So, tax credits, state, federal, historic, but the old abandoned reflect mill, the Charlton Mill, will be renovated. And they're talking about 150 market rate apartments. How do you guys feel about it? I like what they're doing to that neighborhood. Taking those mills, repurposing them. It's way better than them just sitting abandoned first off, and rotting and falling apart. Second of all, these people now are right on the pond, so that'll be available waterfront property. The King Philip Mill that got all redone is beautiful inside and is fully rented where there's a waiting list. Then there's single family homes on the corner over there. They got a dog park. They're right on the waterfront of the pond. It's beautiful. Whereas before it was all run down and it was a hazard. I think since there's a high demand for rental units in Fall River, there should be a high supply that'll lower prices. We don't have the supply yet, in my opinion, for the rush and influx of population growth that we've accumulated the last 25 years. We haven't really built to match, in my opinion. Bang, what do I know? I'm just a kid from Florida. Now, we're going to get into this right here. This is about the school committee and them being found to be overstepping roles and setting policy and financial oversight. Check this out. We'll talk about it.
The Fall River School Committee last night discussed the state report issued in June that looked at the district's governance structure and was critical of the committee. Chair and Mayor Paul Coogan said the report portrayed the committee as overstepping its role when setting policy and financial oversight.
Far too many people in this report, and as Kevin said, he doesn't want the names, so I don't want them either, but they describe the role as adversarial, with a lack of respect, fear. We have people talking about fear coming to a school committee meeting. What is this, the house on Haunted Hill or something? We're coming down to ask them if they can help us. We're asking them to help us, and what can we do, as Kevin just said, to help them? That's what this should be. I don't know where it went sideways, and as I've always said, I'll take all the share of the blame you want to give me. We don't need to worry about stupid things that technically bog us down. We got to go with a hell of a lot more respect. And if this thing never comes up again, I could care less. Let's go forward. Let's build a committee. And all we're going to do is help these kids.
School committee member Kevin Aguiar disputed the state's findings, saying it is well within the purview of the committee to be critical of district leadership when warranted.
For far too long, no one has been held accountable to make sure that they're doing what they need to do. Under the prior administrations, no one was held accountable. There is no systems in place across many different areas. We hired 3 people that have been superintendents that come here. 3 experienced superintendents. They have witnessed, since they've been here for several months, exactly what I'm saying. And that's what we said at that retreat, was the fact that how in the heck did we have no systems in place in this district? It blows their minds, whether they admit it or not. That's what was said in a public meeting, that we had no systems in place. So we can't just keep saying, let's move forward until we figure out how the heck did we have no systems in place.
Since the report was filed, the committee has engaged in a number of professional development sessions to come to a consensus as to its role moving forward.
All right. So the school committee needs to really get their act together, because their decisions mold the youth and future generation of us. They need to learn how to work together instead of everyone on the committee hating each other. And I understand asking a lot of questions may be annoying to some, and for some it might be a game. But can we just get down to business do what we're supposed to, and get shit done. Stop fucking around. There's no need for the polite political back and forth discourse where you're professionally arguing with each other for like half an hour in a meeting. Fuck off. All of you. Thank you. Concerned citizen from Fall River. Now, moving along, speaking of schools, check this out, we'll talk about.
New school year at Fall River's charter schools begins next week. The Atlantis Charter School is the first public school to get started in the new year, with students returning this Monday. In its 32nd year serving Fall River, the interest in the K-12 school remains strong.
We've increased again a little bit. We expect about almost 1,300 students, somewhere around 1,270, we believe. Waitlist continues to be very strong at the kindergarten through 8th grade level. Still spots available in our high school, but we are seeing an increase in enrollment, which we're really happy with. There's really great choice for high school programs in this area, and we've done a lot to share publicly how our school is a little bit different from some of the other offerings, equally good offerings in our region. And so I think we've done a little bit of a better job of getting the word out, including especially on social media, where we're finding a lot of people didn't know about us, and now they know some of the programming that we offer, particularly Career Academy programming, some of the smaller classroom sizes and environment, just sort of in general smaller environment that we have here at the school.
Mr. Beatty says the focus on the lower grades remains improving basic education and literacy. On the high school level, the school looks to enhance its Career Academy offerings.
We have the second year of our EMT program in our medical academy, which is really exciting. Last year, we had an inaugural group of students who processed through the program and are now receiving certifications for EMT services, which is great. In our digital media Career Academy, we're starting a podcasting program, which is exciting to see. Our STEM Academy continues to do really great work. We have a print shop at the school where the kids are creating a lot of different products and then either giving or selling those products. So that sort of hands-on activity is really exciting at the high school level.
Mr. Beatty says the school remains focused on improving achievement test scores and expanding its career opportunities for students.
There's a very competitive high school program here. As people learn about our Career Academy model and the way that it exposes kids to sort of broad career pathways and not necessarily one sort of niche area, is very appealing to a lot of kids and families. And once they learn more about that, we tend to see a lot of excitement in that area. Right now, it is very difficult to predict exactly what the future of a particular career might look like. To what extent will artificial intelligence take over certain elements of different careers? And so, our approach and my personal belief is, it's very powerful to expose kids to sort of broad career pathways within which they can adapt to how technology changes over the coming years. We're in a era right now where it is particularly difficult to predict what's going to happen.
In the coming year, Atlantis plans to introduce cross country and expand its wrestling team as part of its athletics program. The travel club, following a successful trip to Europe this spring, is eyeing a trip to Japan next year. Students at the Argosy Collegiate Charter School begin the new academic year next Wednesday, August 26th. Executive Director Sunil Jagannath says this year's enrollment is the highest it's been in the school's 13-year history.
Our current enrollment number is 628 scholars, again, grades 6 through 12, where we have about 100 scholars per grade level. It makes me so happy to see our enrollment and our wait lists being so high, and also in many ways kind of heartbreaking. We want families to have a seat here as much as possible. Unfortunately, with the charter cap and the rules around charter enrollment, we're not able to kind of offer more seats. But the demand for Argosy continues to be strong in Fall River. Our academic outcomes continue to be strong. And again, our small school environment really allows for families, teachers, and scholars to work closely together in the best interest of scholars.
Mr. Jagannath says city residents are fortunate to have a choice of public education options, with Argosy focusing on all high school graduates earning college experience and credits.
This upcoming fall semester, we'll be offering 28 sections of college courses through our partners at UMass Dartmouth and Bristol Community College. And again, all of those courses have Argosy liaisons that are partnering with our early college department, with scholars, with families, to make sure that scholars are keeping up with the rigorous demands of those college classes. And so, when scholars graduate us and move on to a 2 or 4 year degree, or the workforce or the military, they have some post-secondary experience already that they can draw back on. And so that's really what we want to make sure we're offering is, sometimes we can talk sometimes till we're blue in the face about how successful, about the potential of scholars after high school. However, demonstrating that success while still in high school really kind of solidifies that to the scholars, where they can say, I can do this after high school.
20 students in the class of 2026 received their high school diplomas and associate degrees from Bristol Community College. Mr. Jagannath expects a third of the class of 2027 will also do so. The success of Argosy is often reflected in the over 90% support from parents who view the school as a good fit for their children.
And there's so much just appreciation for our staff, their work, their connections with families. Overwhelmingly, one of the common themes I hear is how families appreciate the frequent communication from their educators, where they're hearing about how their kid's doing, not just in the academics, but also as a person, getting to know them, and then the opportunities that Argosy has provided their child. Navigating higher education is challenging, and so having support to be able to do that, not only while still in high school, but then also after, and some of our alumni supports has just been really just overwhelmingly positive and a difference maker for our families.
In the coming years, schools will be introduced to a new curriculum, and plans will begin to design a new gymnasium for the middle school.
All right, so school time, school shopping, school's coming soon, and that's some news and updates about Argosy, since we had talked about the school committee. Now, I'm going to get into some licenses that got passed, some restaurants, and some family-owned businesses. First, something that you may not have known is a family-owned business, Baja's Restaurant. Check this out. We'll talk about
Article 5, Common Victular. Baja's Fresh Grill, the 12th LLC, 933 Pleasant Street, Andrea Mata.
So that's my sister. She's not here. She's,
Okay. What's your name, young man? Name and address for the record.
Kenan Mota, and address 394 Woodbine Street, Cranston, Rhode Island, 02910.
Okay.
And the address for the business will be 933 Pleasant Street. And
Okay. Now, is this an existing restaurant now?
no, well, it used to be Popeyes. We took it over.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, looks nice in there. All right. So you're asking for a common victuals license. The health inspector did send a note over to the license board saying that that he's okay with this moving forward tonight with us, but there's still some things that got to be done. You're aware of that, right?
Yeah, we're working on everything that's been pointed out.
Okay, so, but you're not going to be able to get this license until Mr. DeSoto from the health inspector says everything's done, okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
I understand.
And so it's a family-run operation?
Yes, sir. There's 20, so this will be our 21st restaurant. So
You got 21?
yeah.
God bless you, young man. questions. So it's going to just operate, I can see, like Popeyes did. What's your hours of operation? I'm sorry, again, I keep.
10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
10 a.m. to 10 p.m.?
Yes, sir.
7 days?
Yes.
And who's gonna, let me see, it's probably in here. So your sister's gonna be in charge?
Well, we're gonna have our manager there. He's Darwin.
Okay.
He's gonna be the person mostly in the building and around. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anybody in favor of it, this petition? Anybody opposed? Michael?
Make a motion to grant the common victuals license to Baja's Fresh Grill, at 933 Pleasant Street to Mr. Mart.
Thank you.
And I will second that motion. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Good luck, young man. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
That man said Bajas. Oh, man. Now, Bajas, family owned, it's going to be their 21st restaurants. They have 21 restaurants, family owned. Good for them. Speaking of family owned, and this is just license being passed down from father to son. 40 years auto sales, over 100 years in the game. Check it out. We'll talk about it.
Article 4, transfer class 2 auto. 40 Auto Sales and Service, Inc., 605 Globe Street, Justin Fortier. Could you please state your name and address for the record, gentlemen?
Just 613 Globe Street. And I'm Robert Fortier, and I'm 1634 Drift Road, Westport.
Okay, so this is, you're transferring, you're related, obviously?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got 3 boys, and this is my oldest.
How long you been there, sir? Because I was a little kid who was there.
Well, next
That was a
year,
long
we're coming
time
up
ago,
on
too.
100 years.
100
Come on.
1927, my grandfather started a gas station there, Sunoco station. And I have a penny postcard of the old gas pumps with the crank handle with the glass. And it was quite a thing. You know?
Well, as a kid, I used to hang around Tupac and Father Kelly, so I know it's always been there since I've been little.
Yeah, I'm 3rd generation, and Justin is 4th. You know?
So I'm sure you're already involved, right? Obviously.
Oh, he's a master tech, and makes me very proud.
Any issues with the police? Anybody out there in favor? Anybody
We love
opposed?
to work on all the police cars too. Yeah, we do calibrations on them if they've been in an accident. Yeah.
And Mike is trying to get some business too.
Yeah.
That's why he's been around for 100 years.
Trying to get 40 arrests. You know? So, anyways, my dad came here with me in 1988 to transfer it to me. And now it's
God
my
bless you.
turn.
Good for you, Michael.
That's wild.
Entertain
All right.
motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to transfer the Class 2 license for the father and son Fournier team.
I'll second that. Any questions on a motion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Good luck.
fellas.
Thank you very much. We just had there should be a repair and dealer. Well, we're going through the repair license too, but that's another.
I think.
Yeah, that's it. And what we were trying to do, Courtney explained it to me, is we're trying to increase our number of cars on the lot. And about 8 years ago, we bought a house behind us and knocked it down and made a much bigger lot and gave us access to the whole.
Oh, wait a minute. Then I apologize because I may have jumped the gun. How many cars is it the existing license?
14. So I had told them until Glenn goes out to inspect,
Yeah,
and
Courtney explained
confirms the
that.
number, that it
They'll
would
have
only
to
be the
come back.
14
And we don't think he's done that yet. And we don't think he's done it.
They'll have to
No.
come back.
for the increase.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you got to come back just to change the premises.
Exactly.
It'll be a formality, obviously, but
Right.
if you have the space, but okay. All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Have a great day and to another 100 years. I'd like to say I'll see that, but that's not likely.
Take care. Thank you.
Another 100 years, hopefully. 40 years auto sales and service. They transferred the license from father to son. The father's like, hey, I'm done with it. I did my whole life here. It's your turn, kid. And the kid, is a grown man. He's been his whole life too, but now he's gonna be running it. Now, 40 years auto sales has been around forever. No one else has been around in Fall River for years and has been a staple in the city. Patty's Pierogies. It's been on the Food Network, everything. Well, Patty's Pierogies will now be selling pho. And it's not Patty's Pierogies anymore. Coming soon. Check this out. We'll talk about it.
A pledge of collateral, TTC Entertainment, LLC, 1019 South Main Street, Tan Nang?
Tanayan.
Okay. Could you please state your name and address for the record?
My name is Hong Tran, attorney for the applicant, 652 Park Avenue in Worcester, Mass.
Okay. My understanding on this is that this has all been approved, and in the approval process, now the bank wants the license pledged.
Yeah, it should have closed a while ago, but the seller passed away
I heard.
while we're trying to close it. And the seller's attorney needed to do the probate. Now that the probate's done, getting ready to close, and the bank says, hey, where's the pledge? So that's what's getting us to come back to pledge the liquor license for the bank, for the loan.
Okay. All right. I mean, it's a.
What business is it?
This is the old pierogi place, right?
Yeah, yes. Yeah,
Patty's
1019
Pierogies?
South Main.
It's going to be a
Oh, it's gonna be like a noodle place and stuff?
Correct.
Oh,
It's going to
I
be
heard
a
about that,
new
yeah.
pho place.
Yes,
That's gonna be successful, I think.
I think it's going to be great down
Yeah,
here.
people love that.
yeah. It's just a pledge of this license that wasn't done when they initially applied for the transfer. This is just to clean up some legal proceedings in terms of the bank being protected. I don't have any issues. Anybody in favor? Anybody opposed? Hearing none. Entertain a motion, Michael?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to grant the pledge of collateral to TTC Entertainment LLC, 1019 South Main Street.
I'll second that motion. Questions on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All good. Good luck.
May I ask one question before,
Go right
before I
ahead.
leave? Does this get, after it's approved, since it's already approved with the ABCC board, does this get sent back to the ABCC board and we wait for that process again?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
I believe so. Am I correct on saying that?
Yes, so
Really?
I will send them a licensing authority certification saying that we voted to approve the pledge. That gets sent to the ABCC, and then they'll reach out to you guys once they've
Yeah.
completed their review.
Awesome. Thank you so
All
much.
Okay.
Pho. Patty's Pierogies will now sell pho. There you go, bro. You heard it here first. Live on the Fall River Experience. Anyways, speaking of Asian restaurants, let's talk about Asia One. Check it out. We'll talk
New
about it.
Asia One Inc. Would you please come up? 1355 South Main Street, June Zhang. I hope I'm saying that correctly. If I'm not, I apologize. And I'm going to take A and B together because there is a new alcoholic beverage license being requested and a common vics license being requested. Both of these matters were tabled at the July 15, 2026 meeting at the request of the petition. I think at that point in time, we only had a 2-member board. Would you please state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, my name's Annie Zhang. My brother had an emergency, so I'm filling in for him.
That's okay.
My address is 738 Bark Street, Swansea, Massachusetts. If you're talking about the business address, is 1355 South Main Street, Fall River, Massachusetts.
Okay. Could you tell me a little bit about what new age is this an existing restaurant?
It is an existing restaurant.
What is it?
South Main Street, yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Coppers.
Oh, where Coppers was. Okay. Right next to the gas station?
Yeah.
And the car wash.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
First and foremost, what are the hours of operation that you intend to open?
10 p.m. to 10
10
a.m. to 10 p.m.
7 days?
Yes.
Do you have any experience in the restaurant giving out liquor business?
Yes, we had a liquor license before COVID, and then after COVID closed, we kind of changed it up a bit. But now we're hoping to reopen dining, so therefore
At the same place?
Yeah, same
Oh,
place.
you've already. Oh, okay. So you've already been there. I apologize. I didn't know that. Okay. Any questions from the police department? They all check out. Okay.
Did you say you want to do this together? Is that what you said?
Yeah, we'll do both of them. Okay. We can do two separate motions, Michael, but we don't need to. After this, we'll just do two successive motions. Anybody out there in favor of this petition? Anybody opposed to the petition? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
So I'd like to make a motion to grant Asia One Incorporated an all liquor license, 1355 South Main Street.
I'll second that motion. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Okay.
Second.
So I'll make a second motion to grant Asia One, New Asia One Incorporated, a common victualer's license, 1355 South Main Street.
I'll second that motion. Any questions on a motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, all those
Aye.
opposed? Good luck.
Aye.
Reopening? Aye. No, you
Yeah.
don't have to say aye.
Oh,
Just
thank
us.
God.
That's okay.
You can vote. Go
That's
ahead.
okay, though.
You
Good
can
luck.
vote.
Good luck reopening, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Have a great day, guys.
That's just aye, aye, aye.
Okay. This is my thing. The man at the licensing board, running the licensing board, didn't even know Asia One was in operation. He thought it was a new business. This man did not know that Asia One was not a new business. Asia One has been on the corner of Globe Four Corners for like a decade already. This is what we're dealing with in Fall River. We take will try seriously, huh? We need to do better. Now, since we're on the topic of food, let's talk about Taste of Paradise. Check this out. We'll talk about it.
Article C, Taste of Paradise, 1335 Pleasant Street. Ronald, Renee, for an all-alcoholic common victualer's license. This matter was previously tabled quite some time ago, pending completion of the renovations. Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Ronald Renee. The address of the establishment is 1335 Pleasant Street, Fall River, and my address is 157 Long Ave in Somerset.
Okay. I know you were here before, and I went out and looked at this, and I do know that there was some renovations that had to be made. I'm told that all the renovations have been made to the satisfaction of the building department, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And now the licensed premises is not the basement, correct?
No.
No
We're not
basement.
touching that. We have planned, the whole building department's been there. It's been used as storage. We're not using that.
Okay.
Just everything the way it is. and
Okay,
no
the main
more.
floor.
Main floor, yes.
Okay, I'm good with, because I went, did you go with me that
No,
day?
no.
I
was
went.
there,
Yeah, you were there. You hadn't owned it yet.
No.
Oh, you had
that-
just,
I was
just
I
about
was
to
in
make the
process of buying
transfer,
it.
right?
That's correct.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
I have floor plans in there too. if you
Yeah,
want, if
yeah,
you-
I looked at him. It's right here. I know. I just want to make sure that it's on the record that he's not using the basement, because there was some questions at the time when we were there, whether it was obviously a fire hazard, because there was only one way out of there.
That's correct.
And so,
That's correct.
as long as they stay out of the basement, and he's satisfied the building department, I know I'm okay, because I was there, and I know the building department has been working with Mr. Renee to try to get this done. And it's been a long time coming. So, questions, Mike?
Well, what type of food is it we serving there?
It's gonna be Caribbean and American food that we're gonna
Because
serve.
your title is A Taste of Paradise.
Taste of
That's a high bar. Paradise.
Listen,
The food-
hopefully you guys can stop by. The grand opening is Friday.
Okay.
It's amazing what we've done for the year.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to take your word on it, that there's gonna be some
Absolutely.
type of.
I may go by only because I want to see the change, because it needed some TLC when I was there.
It's more than TLC because we revamped the entire place
It
and the
needed
amount
some
of
work.
money.
All right.
You guys are gonna be happy with
Okay,
that. That's what
great.
we put
So
in
with
the
that,
form.
I'll make a motion to
Well, can I
grant.
just get the
Oh,
hours if you don't mind?
oh,
Excuse
okay,
me,
I thought you
Michael.
guys said-
Yes, I got the hours here. And we temporarily going to close on Monday, just because we're still in the process.
But might you open at some point?
Yes.
So then put it in here.
Okay. It's gonna be from Monday through on Thursday from 11 to 11 p.m. and then from Friday and Saturday from 11 to 1:30 a.m. and then Sunday from 11 p.m. to 11 p.m. 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay.
So you're gonna be open to 1:30 in the morning.
So usually when I say 1:30, if we're doing anything, we're just gonna close by 1. But by the time for us to clean up, just get everybody out.
Yeah.
Just make sure you don't have any problems going over the time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Just make sure, because once we start getting those complaints, those are from neighbors or people around, then you're gonna get yourself back in here. Okay.
Well, I do have a question with that because
Go right ahead.
1:30
11
sounds late to
to
me
1.
for a restaurant.
Mhm.
Now, is it like after that midnight, maybe even 10 p.m. on Friday till 1 a.m.? Is it going to be a nightclub type atmosphere?
No, there's not.
Because that's where you're going to run into problems with us if that happens.
I spoke with,
Right?
we're doing
Yeah.
a fine dining area.
Yeah.
So where we're not doing any clubs.
Okay, because you have a liquor license,
yeah.
so you can't. But if there's trouble, but it's you're telling us it's not. Okay, that's no problem. That was my question.
Yeah, I
Thank
spoke
you.
with Glenn,
Yeah.
with Eugene, and I can
Yeah.
assure you guys it's not gonna happen. We're gonna have some activities. Sometimes I know a lot of artists. We do karaoke, artists that's gonna come, like DJs playing, and then also
No, but he doesn't have an entertainment license as of yet, right? Or does he?
I believe he does.
You have an entertainment license?
They have
we
the
have-
common vic and an entertainment license that was issued by you guys. It was
Earlier?
just earlier.
Because he's asking for a common vic now. So you sure we did the entertainment?
I'm sure this is the all alcohol common vic.
Okay.
But if there's anything too, I can see Courtney. But like I said, right now we're doing fine dining, so everybody's coming. You can have reservation. You can check the website.
I think
as
all
well.
Mike's saying, I don't want to speak for him because he's very able to speak for himself, is just try to make sure that we want you to be successful.
Absolutely.
We really do. I had this discussion with you.
Yeah, we spoke there.
And I do want you to be successful over there because Pleasant Street needs some work.
Yeah.
I mean, we gotta do a better job over there and trying to
Absolutely.
uplift, the Flint. So I would hope that this is going to be one of the things that we're going to be most proud of over there.
Absolutely. You guys will be very proud when you see the place. I can assure you that.
Okay.
All right. Great. Make a motion to grant the new all alcohol common victuals license, the Taste of Paradise at 1335 Pleasant Street.
I'll second that. Questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All set. Stay right where you are.
Oh, he's back.
1-day liquor permits. Obviously, and I said, why do you need both? But it won't be back from the ABCC in time.
Yeah,
That's
correct.
why you want to.
That's correct. That's
Okay,
correct.
so he wants a
Oh,
series
yeah.
of 1-day liquor permit.
Okay.
I just want to ask one question that before I it's 1-day liquor permit, Taste of Paradise, 1335 Pleasant Street, Ronald Renee, for the dates. Are those dates correct? Because 8/20's Thursday, but tomorrow, but he doesn't have for Friday. Everything else is a weekend.
We're probably better mistake. It's with Friday. That's the
21st.
That's the 21st. That's the grand opening, and that's when we're going to cut the ribbon. It should be the 21st.
Are you going to serve food and liquor?
Yes.
You got to just put it on there then. Right?
What?
21st.
So you want it the 21st, not the 20th?
Yes.
Okay, so it says
Yeah,
20th.
The 21st.
Okay.
Not the 20th?
Not the 20th.
So the 1-day liquor permits he's looking for are 8/21, 8/22, 8/23, 8/28, 8/29, 8/30, 9/4, 9/5, 9/6. Correct?
Yes.
That's right, read it. Okay. And you want them from 2 p.m. in the afternoon to 12 a.m. midnight.
That's correct.
You do know, Mr. Renee, all that you have to follow the rules and regulations relative to the detail and so forth and so on.
Absolutely. We do have security, and then we've been working with the Fall River Police Department as well for detailing and all that. So
Okay.
we've
All
been
right.
doing this for a long time.
I think it's a good thing. I mean, I think at this point in time, it'll actually give you some a
Absolutely.
test run before you get your full one.
That's the goal.
So
That's the goal.
let's make sure it goes well.
Absolutely.
So I actually have another question then.
Go right ahead.
Since he is getting 1-day permits for these dates that Greg, he's gonna have to get a detail. I mean, he's gonna, like, when he opens his restaurant, he's not gonna be made to get a detail unless he desires one himself. But he's getting these dates because he ain't gonna have his ABCC.
Correct. That's
So
why.
now he's got, I don't know, about 8 dates here, 8, 9 dates. Is he going to be? Is he required to hire a police detail for these dates? Usually on a 1-day permit, we do, but this is kind of unusual.
It's a unique situation.
The 1-day permits aren't for an actual restaurant.
Yeah, that's
why
right, my
An
point.
event
Like an
outside of the
event somewhere,
restaurant,
like we
right.
do every month.
So because it's within the enclosure of the restaurant, then I'm not certain. I can certainly need more information on that, but I
What
don't
do you
know if it's
think,
necessarily a requirement.
I was going to bring up the same thing, that he's doing this in a unique situation to operate his business. I would not like to, that's going to be an expensive proposition.
Yeah, that's what I'm
and,
saying.
I try to help the gentleman.
Well, I don't have him.
I do have private security.
I'm just trying to save you because you're going to have to hire a cop every night. Listen, I am a cop, so I don't care about you. I'd like you to hire cops, but it's kind of crazy that he has. I don't think this falls under the umbrella of hiring a cop, in my opinion.
Well, listen, why don't we entertain a motion to allow the 1-day liquor permits and to waive the police detail portion of this unless the Florida Police Department deems it necessary.
Well, we don't have to waive anything. We could just have Heather and this gentleman speak after Heather talks to the chief, maybe. Like Heather can deal with her people at the station, get an opinion, and then deal with them. If the chief says hire one,
But I'd like to put it on record that we're going to have a waiver unless them, so people know
Okay.
that they don't just come in and they can go, oh, I'm going to call the police department. I don't need one.
Okay,
We're going to
so you
require,
wanna
you
say
know what I'm
waiver?
saying?
Okay, yeah, 'cause I'm gonna make the
put it on
motion,
record.
that's
I agree, and I was going to bring up the same thing. This is a unique situation. The ABCC approval is not going to be back. He's trying to do something in the summer to obviously get it going. He's done all the work that the city has required him inside. I trust that because we got the okay, and I do know I was there. And they
Okay.
said they were not going to allow this to open until he did the work. He wasn't even the owner.
Yeah.
So he's done it. So
I'll make that motion.
I'll entertain a motion to give the 1-day liquor permits for Taste of Paradise for 8/1, 8/22, 8/23, 8/26, 8/28, 8/29, 8/30, 9/4, 9/5, 9/6, and to have a waiver of the police the requirement of the police detail unless the Florida Police Department deems it reasonable and necessary under the circumstances.
I'll make that exact motion in those words.
And also, the reason why I'm doing it is because we're doing promotion. We have families coming in since we're opening. So that's why we have those weekends so we can invite people to come in.
Oh.
So, for example, I asked authorization to have my birthday there. I personally hired 2 security guards, make sure because I asked Courtney for authorization. And then everything went well. I got security. I know it's going to cost money, but knowing the flight, we want to make sure we position ourselves.
Well, I think it's going to be good for you, Mr. Renee, to show the track record that you're already going to open. You got 9 dates here. If there's a problem here, then, obviously it's going to show there's some things are going to be needed. So,
Yeah, and even if the station says, no, that's fine, we'll work with the licensing board because on the waiver. But if you feel you want to hire a detail, just call the station and hire a detail. You know what I mean? If you feel.
I think he knows that. He can't have a problem with it. He knows he can't have a problem over there. That it would look very, very bad on his part, which I think he's going to try to do the right thing.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to second that motion. Is there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed?
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you very much.
I'm just gonna grab a phone number for you so I can call you.
Sure.
You
508.
don't have to say it.
No, that's fine. 508.
All right, so Taste of Paradise, grand opening today. Got approved a bunch of 1-day liquor permits. Almost had to pay for a police detail for like 9 dates. Luckily, they allowed that to pass in the motion and waived it upon agreement with the Florida Police Department. I believe that it being a restaurant, it starting off, and them already approving the all liquor license. Like they started off with approving the all liquor license. So technically, the all liquor license is already approved. It just has to be sent to the ABCC and then sent back to the 123, and it's done. But in that process, that time frame of the bureaucratic bullshit, the red tape of waiting, he asked for 1-day permits. And these 1-day permits, even though it's almost mandatory with everywhere else for like events and this, I believe that they need to do what they did and let this man attempt it. It's already approved. You can't hate on the man before he even opens his business. Give him a chance. This is why the city has a hard time attracting business owners who want to do business here. Because there's so much bureaucratic bullshit and red tape. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a kid from Fall River. Now, while we're in the Flint, let's talk about Moe's. Moe's is about to close and move. Check it out. We'll talk about it.
Transfer of license. MRS Inc. DBA Supreme Mart 1012 Bedford Street, Raj P. Patel.
Good evening. For the record, my name is Peter Solino. I am a lawyer, and I am here on behalf of the applicant, Mr. Patel, in terms of the subject application. So the current license resides at Moe's Mini Mart on Pleasant Street, almost across the street from Leonard's Package Store, which I've been in front of you for.
Yep.
The gentleman at Moe's is selling the license to the Patels, who are then going to move it next to Columbus Park. So they own the gas station on, I think that'd be Beatty and Bedford.
Sciziano?
Yes. So the license will be moved from Pleasant Street there. So I'm asking for three things. Authorization and transfer of the license to Mr. Patel's entity known as MRS Inc. A change of manager because the current manager, the gentleman that operates Moe's, is obviously not going to be the manager anymore. Mr. Patel will be the manager. So change of location, transfer, and change of manager. So those are the three things. And for the record, Mr. Patel has plenty of experience. This is a family business for him. Essentially, he's involved in Economy Liquors on North Main Street. You see his dad sitting behind him, who owns Leonard's and has come before you as well. So it's a family business and definitely an experienced operator.
So what, so the old Extra Mart we're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Mobile gas.
So that's going to be a package store now?
Beer and wine.
Beer and wine.
And I should also know for the record that we had to go to the zoning board for this because the sale of alcohol taken off premise is not allowed in that neighborhood on Bedford Street. So we've previously been to the zoning board to get that authority to come.
What about the gas pumps? What happened?
That's going to stay the same.
There's going to be gas there too?
Yeah, it's going to be a gas station with beer and wine.
Oh, all right, okay.
Hours of operation changing?
I don't think so, right? You're going to keep the same hours?
No, no changes to the hours of operation.
Okay, so you're just going to use coolers and you're going to now have beer and wine?
Yeah.
Everything else is going to remain the same?
Correct.
Okay.
So just a transfer of license, it's overseeing. I know, Mr.
Yeah,
Salino said a bunch of things there.
Attorney Salino's
So there's
also.
3 boxes checked. So transfer a license. Then we need to change the location of the license. And we need to change the manager of the license.
Because you're transferring it from Pleasant Street over
Okay.
to.
I just got to say that in my
Yes.
motion, that's all.
Correct.
I mean, police are good, right? Obviously, they have other licenses, so, anybody in favor? Anybody opposed?
So I'll make a motion to transfer the license, transfer the location of the license, and transfer the manager of the license to Mr. For Mr. Patel.
Beer and wine.
Beer and wine, yeah.
I'll second that motion. Questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, all those opposed?
All right.
Aye. All set.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Excellent.
The Patels buy more. So, Moe's convenience store on Pleasant Street closing. They are moving that business license to another Patel-owned property, the old Extra Mart gas station on Bedford Street, the Ameristore. That now will sell beer and wine, and everything else remain the same. So the gas station, convenience store, Bedford Street will remain the same. However, they went to the zoning board, got it waived where they can sell beer and wine in that neighborhood as a package store. And you can go get a beer while you pump gas. Good job, Fall River. Now, moving along, since, I talk about a good job, Fall River. Check this out. We'll talk about it.
The Fall River Arts and Culture Coalition, or FRAC, held an event last night to officially unveil a mural installed on the walls of an underpass of Route 79. Artist Lena Mack spoke about her vision of the project, tying in the city's waterfront with its diverse history.
It's sort of like a natural portal because you enter into the space. So I started thinking kind of like of how to connect the space instead of just being one wall here, one wall there, to kind of make it like almost like an installation, and also to have it make sense in this environment. What was sort of meant to be the meaning on each side is like a sunset and a sunrise on the other side, and the tides coming in on one, the tides coming in and the tides going out, and then to include these migratory species, which are the minke whale and a pelican, blue marlins, and Arctic terns migrate from the North Pole to the South Pole and back every year, which I find amazing and inspiring, and also just to connect that Fall River itself is a city of people who have come here from all over, and some of these birds and creatures actually make migrations to Portugal and through these waters here. So to connect like us to our natural environment.
All right. The portal tide. I like it. I think it's a good addition to our newly refaced waterfront, especially since they're making Route 79 a boulevard, and that's what it'll become once all the development starts. So if people are complaining about traffic now, well, you better find a new traffic pattern. I'm going to tell you that much. Wait till the speed limits drop to, 25, 30 miles an hour. Now, moving along, we got to talk about this. Check it out. We'll talk about it.
Fall River, a man is facing charges after police say he went after a group of children with a pocket knife, hurting two who tried to disarm him. This happened at Kennedy Park last night. Police say the kids were at the pavilion there. The suspect, 38-year-old Kanthu Yi, is accused of confronting the children and chasing them. The two hurt have non-life-threatening injuries. Police say Yi was heavily intoxicated.
Okay. This is what I take out of the story from being born and raised in Florida. I believe that Asian man was in the pavilion getting drunk. I believe that these teenagers started fucking with him. And then it was a good case of fuck around, find out. He probably like throwing stuff at him, calling him names, whatever. He's heavily intoxicated. Then, they may have tried to jump him. And he pulled out a knife. With the facts given, that's what I think. Do I think that the drunk Asian man in the pavilion started chasing a bunch of kids for no reason? No. Because when you've ever been drunk, did you decide to just start running for no reason to go attack somebody? I'll wait. I'm waiting. Exactly. Fall River. But speaking of stabbings, check this out. We'll talk about it. Stabbing investigation, arrest made. Kenneth Bell, age 56. On Sunday, August 16th at approximately 11:52 a.m., Florida police responded to the bus terminal on 4th Street for reports of a stabbing and a man chasing another individual with a knife. It was later determined that the incident occurred on 5th Street. Upon arrival, officers located 45-year-old male suffering from multiple lacerations to his shoulder and head. Officers immediately provided medical aid until the EMS arrived. Victim was subsequently transported to Rhode Island Hospital for further treatment. Officers quickly located a man matching the description on Hartwell Street. The individual was identified as 56-year-old Kenneth Bell. During a pat frisk, officers recovered a utility knife from his pocket. Further investigation revealed that he had taken belongings from the victim. He was taken into custody and transported to the police department for booking and charged with the following: assault and battery with a dangerous weapon and armed assault with intent to murder, and a bunch more charges. He got hit with a litany. So, that'll, the armed robbery, vandalizing property, armed assault with intent to murder, assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. They're going to hold him on a dangerous hearing. He's going to be held 120 days, no bail, until, his defense tries to figure it out from there. But with enough proof and finding the knife, which probably has the blood on it. And, he's probably going to get a few years if he doesn't have a criminal record. If he has a criminal record, probably looking upwards of 3 to 5. Now, speaking of police and arrests, check this out. We'll talk about it. Guatemalan national convicted on a list of charges, accused of illegally entering the country 3 times, arrested in Fall River by ICE, Boston. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has announced a recent arrest mass. According to ICE on Saturday, victim Manuel Chavalin Alvarez, a twice removed criminal from Guatemala, targeted operations in Fall Mass. ICE states that his criminal history includes a conviction for assault with a dangerous weapon, carrying a dangerous weapon, negligent operation of motor vehicle, licensed operation of motor vehicle, leaving the scene of property damage, resisting arrest, negligent operation of motor vehicle, unlicensed operation. An active warrant for his arrest was issued by Hinds County Circuit Court in Mississippi on January 20, 2019 for negligent vehicle homicide. ICE noted that Chavalin Alvarez entered the United States illegally on 3 occasions, with his most recent removal for the United States on January 27, 2020. Okay. I'm going to paint our border security like this. When you have a house and you lock your doors and you got a security system, if the same person breaks into your house 3 separate times, well, your security system is trash. It needs to be updated and figured out somehow. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a kid from Fall River. I don't know, okay? Don't get mad at the messenger. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Speaking of the game, check it out. We'll talk about it. Florida police defend flock cameras amid regional abuse concerns. Seems like every day there's news report about someone in law enforcement in trouble for abusing their department's flock. And it's made available to police without a warrant. Just recently in neighboring New Bedford, a police officer was placed on administrative leave for allegedly using flock to trace her ex-girlfriend. Police Chief Jason Thody temporarily paused the use of the system and announced on Wednesday the department was doing a labor-intensive manual audit. The decision to reinstate the flock system in New Bedford is still in question, and yesterday the city council was shut down by anti-flock protesters. Rhode Island Governor Dan McKee just put a moratorium on the installation of any new cameras and ordering a 60-day review period so Rhode Island State Police can come up with some policies. The American Civil Liberties Union, which consider use of flock safety cameras a violation of privacy and civil liberties, just launched a national campaign called Get the Flock Out. Here in Fall River, there doesn't seem to be much controversy over the flock system that was first introduced in the city in June 2021 after initial 10 cameras were purchased through the American Rescue Plan Act, better known as ARPA funds. The amount of flock cameras, which also document other vehicle identifiers like make and model, is now up to 41 flock cameras in Fall River. According to Police Chief J.T. Hoare, said it's just one camera surveillance tool in the police department's tool, Albert, an important one. And with Flock's new technology, they can better monitor the use and possible abuse of the data the system collects. 2026, Flock just introducing an auditing tool that can flag suspicious search behavior by officers to command staff and require mandatory case codes before running a search. The system itself has insights into trends of use. It also has its own engine that they built out last year that we're using currently that will track trends within the system, said Police Chief J.T. Hoare. Police department itself has strict policies in place, including that no officer will have access unless they receive training. It was likely that auditing capability that gave New Bedford Police Department the ability to discover their officer was using to track her ex-girlfriend, since it was an internal investigation that brought it to light. Flock Safety Systems own the cameras in their operating system, and the city pays an annual fee of $3,500. If a camera is vandalized or stolen, Flock replaces the equipment. The cameras are motion activated and some run on solar power. So there are two pieces to this whole thing. I think that the more people understand it, they'll understand the software is really where we are regulating the use of it. Police, municipalities, Mass DOT, they've been putting cameras in public places for decades, says former Police Chief J.T. Hoare. Hoare notes that cameras play a role in our everyday lives and are ever increasing in popularity with homeowners and businesses with systems like Ring security cameras. The technology is better, the resolution is better, said Hoare, but it's the Flock software is where it starts to be cutting edge. Flock technology allows a photograph of a car and a license plate to be analyzed so that descriptors of the vehicle, the make, model, color, damage, stickers on it, any identifying marks get basically digested by this artificial intelligence. But the technology doesn't run a plate for any operator information, he said. We can't run a license plate unless it's for law enforcement purposes. That's the only reason we're using Flock, said J.T. Hoare. The system has built-in safeguards, said Hoare. I go in and plug in a license plate to see if it's been hit on by any Flock cameras. If it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. If it does show up, I have to put in why I'm searching and the case number, said Hoare. The only time Flock would automatically search for a person's information is if the police punched the name of a person of interest or if the vehicle was of interest in an investigation. Flock also has the capability of searching through its database of photographs if there are partial license plate identifications or a description by a witness of a suspect vehicle like a red Honda. There's also the capability of putting the description of a stolen vehicle into a national index. If a stolen vehicle gets reported in Somerset, Fall River, or Westport Town, they put it in the system. The national database gets notified of that license plate, make, model, and VIN number of the car. It gets put into Flock and it adds it to a nationwide hot list, said Hoare. These hot lists for stolen cars have been around forever, he said. It used to be an old piece of paper and the police officers would get it handed to them at roll call and then they would go out looking around from the hot list on what cars were stolen, said Hoare. Because of Flock, the FRPD has been able to solve vehicle cases stolen from other jurisdictions. And police can customize their own hot list, and they did in one case where they had a person of interest in a shooting that had a vehicle related to the case. Hall said. We put that car on the hot list because we were wondering if that car was going to come back in the city. Lo and behold, it comes back to the city. We were able to gather more surveillance on what's going on, who was in that car, because we knew that car was connected, but we didn't know who in that car was the shooter. So investigators had to gather more information to fill in those questions. The fundamental police work still has to exist. Flock is just an enhancement to the investigation and investigative tool, said former police chief J.T. Hall. How do you feel about the flock cameras? Now, I know a lot of people say, hey, it's not a problem unless you're a criminal or whatever, da, da, da. Now, this is my thing. These flock cameras and privacy concerns, they've been gone for years. Fall River Police itself has had flock cameras for 5 years. 5 years. It started with 10, which obviously were like entrances and exits of the city, main hotspot areas. And then they branched out. Providence, Rhode Island Police Department put a request out to its citizens. Hey, let us tap into your Ring or Nest doorbell camera. That way, if there's a crime in your neighborhood, we don't have to contact you. And thousands of residents signed up. Welcome to 1984. Welcome to Big Brother. Welcome to the Matrix. How do you escape it? You don't. You're trapped here now. Now you have to get with the program. And the program blueprint is already out there. Look at China with their mass surveillance and social credit score. That's what we have to look forward to. Now, some politicians will pause their flock systems. They'll do an investigation. They'll do political theater to make us citizens think they give a fuck. But they don't. Don't be a flipperhead and think they give a fuck. Because whether left or right, red or blue, you a fool if you think they care about you. Like I say on my feature on It's Your Boy Fifth song Illusions. Go stream that on all platforms, by the way. Now, let's talk about the Bank Street Armory, okay? Hasn't been talked about in a while. Ever since 4 police stations started getting demolished, everybody forgot about good old Bank Street Armory and what might happen to that. Check it out. We'll talk about it. $30,000 state grant will help the Bank Street Armory's future. Or will it? The city is getting a state grant to take a key first step toward restoring or redeveloping the Bank Street Armory. The Mass Historical Commission awarded the city a $30,000 grant to perform a conditions assessment and feasibility study for the building, according to Alex Silva, president of the Preservation Society of Fall River. Money comes from MHC's Mass Preservation Project Fund, a 50% reimbursable matching grant program open to cities with properties listed in the State Register of Historic Places. The nonprofit group and the Historical Commission have been working with the city to determine the building's future. That first step, Silva said, is a complete top-to-bottom assessment of everything the building needs. This is essentially the key first step that should have always been done for the building, Silva said. The Armory opened to the public on February 24th, 1897. The castle-like structure was once home to a volunteer militia and the National Guard. Generations of Fall River kids played basketball on the court in the drill hall, and it hosted pro wrestling shows featuring the likes of Hulk Hogan. In later years, it hosted the Greater Fall River Recreation and Youth Build programs. The building was shuttered and those programs relocated in April 2015 when an inspection revealed one of the chimneys had loose granite blocks leaning in toward the gym. City workers later repaired the chimney, but the building has been ruled unsafe for habitation and used solely for municipal storage. The interior is in bad condition, needless to say. In 2023, the city put the building up for sale, but after months of debate, rejected a $200,000 bid from Alan McAmer, who developed the nearby former Bradford Durfee Technical School into an apartment complex across the street. McAmer's plan would have transformed the Armory into housing. And in 2025, the New York City-based American Numismatic Society withdrew from talks to buy and restore the building to use as a coin museum. The city's Community Preservation Committee has spent nearly $446,000 in the past decade on emergency repairs and condition assessments. Mayor Paul Coogan has said over $10 million would be needed to fully restore the building. Silva said a representative of the Mass Historical Commission toured the property and said the Armory was not in as poor as other buildings he had seen. Proper conditions assessment and feasibility study will determine what exactly the building's condition is, what its most immediate needs are to be saved, what the most viable reuse options are, and more. If the city has this study and they know what needed to be done, it makes it more attractive to a developer or even the city starting its repairs, Silva said. The study was performed, but it was conducted in 2015, over a decade ago. The building has been deteriorating since. Silva said the American Numismatic Society withdrew because the city had no such recent study and couldn't be sure of all the work that needed to be done. There were too many unknowns, he said. A more recent study was conducted, Silva said, but that was not an apples to apples kind of study. People kept referencing the past study, Silva said. That past study, if you read the title of it, was an accessibility feasibility study. So how much would it take to put an elevator here? How much would it take to make it 100% accessible, which doesn't have to happen with the variances? Once the grant funding comes in, the city will solicit bids from companies able to do that kind of study. So, bunch of legal jargon, municipal terms, which basically mean this. They're going to toss another $30,000 in tax dollars to look inside the Bank Street Armory and be like, wow, this building's fucked up. It's going to take a lot of money to fix. How much you think it's going to cost? They're going to throw a number down. And obviously, if we already had a base point number of 10 million 11 years ago, it's going to cost more now. Now, a few years ago, we denied Alan McAmer to build apartments in there. Because nobody in the city wanted apartments in the old Bank Street Armory. Had too much nostalgia attached to it to be turned into apartments. Political uproar. The whole city, there was people doing videos outside of the Bank Street Armory. Save the Bank Street Armory. All that did was push that sale away. When Alan McAmer was ready to give the city $200,000 and then take on the project that he knew would cost over $10 million to rehab and get going again. He did it across the street with the old Durfee Tech building. Already showed he could do it. He's also the man behind Commonwealth Landing on the waterfront. We told him no. So then we try to get a coin museum. Because, you know, that's what people in Fall River want to go to. a coin museum. Go look at some coins. Most people nowadays don't even use coins. Never mind want to go look at them. But the coin museum fell through. They were like, hey, it's going to cost too much money. Sorry. Too many unknowns. This study was done years ago. It's obviously worse now. We don't know the current number. So now the city, which is in the last decade, spent just under $500,000 to just keep this building kind of maintained enough for us to not have a lawsuit and keep the building there. But do nothing with it. And whenever somebody's interested in it, say, no. Mark my words. Most likely with the Bank Street Armory. Fall River's nostalgia for what it was will ruin Bank Street Armory. It will make it where the city council wants to protect their political ass and go with what the voice of the people say on social media. And that's no development there. Make it a rec center again, which wouldn't be a good business investment for any investor with at least $10 million to repair the building, minimum. That's off a feasibility study a decade ago. To now try to make that money back and not just lose millions of dollars, it won't generate that type of revenue. It's not big enough of a space, especially since the drill hall wouldn't really be allowed to be altered by historical rights. When Alan McNamara was showing designs to the Historical Commission, they denied him and told him the drill hall had to remain the same. And they just couldn't reach an agreement. So, what's happening to the old police station on Bedford Street? Give it about 3 to 5 years. Unfortunately, that's probably what's going to happen to the Bank Street Armory. I'm saying it now. I don't want it to happen. I wish the Bank Street Armory could be a great venue, event center that we could bring national touring acts to. I wish it could be profitable and an attraction for the city again. But the proper planning wasn't there. The maintenance aspect wasn't there. And maintenance is where Fall River fails. That's the one line item that we always say, hey, we'll try. Let's try harder, Fall River. Now, with that being said, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning into today's episode. If you shared this out already, please share it again. We've already accumulated over 300 shares while live. So, guys, push this out. I'll have the clips, reels, and shorts coming up shortly later on today. But make sure you like, follow, subscribe. We are streaming on 3 different locations, 2 different platforms. Again, we are on YouTube, on Street Magic Multimedia, and on Facebook on the Fall River Experience and Aaron All Nighter Facebook page. Comment below where you are watching from. Are you watching from YouTube? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Facebook on the Aaron All Nighter page or the Fall River Experience? Comment below. I want to know where you guys are watching from. And don't forget, follow, subscribe turn on notifications. That way you know when I go live. Like I said, I changed the time frame, so I'm not going to see you guys here on the Full River Experience podcast on Monday or Wednesday. I know I teased you guys a little bit with that, but it was too much, especially as an independent artist and not only podcaster, but music artist. It was a lot. Speaking of music, go stream my brand new song, The Aroma Remix, by Aaron All Night on all platforms. With that being said, guys, again, thank all of you for tuning in. Means the world. Love you guys. Everybody be good, be safe, do the right thing, stay out of trouble, treat each other with love, dignity, respect, and all that. You already know what it is. It's your boy Aaron All Nighter. Forever, you know, I'm off this. Peace. All Nighter. Street magic. Chopped in silence. Kelly Azul on the beat. Need y'all to take a ride with me. I'm just a kid from Forever, what I know. Riding through my city that they're gentrifying, market rate housing while there's homeless dying. And I know that they're trying cause this program's out there, but I ain't reaching out there. They ain't reaching out there. Empty storefronts, internet to blame. Gotta move different if nothing is the same. Entertainment venues, bringing nightlife. Transparent police, body cams that's live. I mean live stream they whole shift. Personal info can censor it. Even though when involving police it becomes public info. But that's a different topic for a different tempo. Back to my city that they're gentrifying. Panhandlers on the Ave and the addicts dying. Parents crying, losing kids. Half my generation that are doing bids. So how are we gonna get to the youth? Teach them right and wrong when not to shoot. Started young in kindergarten. Mental health class, your brain's a garden. Teach them all about their feelings. The senior year, let's start the healing. Since tech's here to stay, let's teach with VR. Let's build that way. But what do I know? What can I say? I'm just a kid from Forever. It's just my observations. Chopped in silence. Kelly Azul on the beat. It's All Nighter.